transporting its viewers to the middle of the biggest college football circus going on that day. But to ensure they visit the most anticipated matchup, they wait until the previous week's games are over to announce where they're headed. Once that announcement is made, fans can start making plans for just how early they want to get in line to stand in the background of the show.
College Game Day won't go live until 9 a.m. on Saturday morning, 11 hours before the Dogs and the Fighting Irish will take the field here at Sanford Stadium later that evening. But I spoke with senior Eli Ziegler, who says that he has friends prepared to get to Myers Quad way before the sun comes up to make sure that they have a front row seat to all the action.
I am planning on going to College Game Day. Don't know how early I'm going to get there. I have work in the morning, but probably should be there around 8:39. I know people who are camping out. I'm going to be there at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, so it should be fun.
While students and fans plan out their College Game Day plans, UGA alumni and host of the show, Maria Taylor, has her fair share of prepping to do too. But she says she doesn't let the hype of one particular game or another affect how she feels, even if it's Notre Dame at UGA.
You know, the national championship and the Rose Bowl are just like working Clemson, Georgia Tech. And if I treat those all the same, then I will be great every single time that I come on camera.
Maria will be joined on the set of College Game Day by fellow UGA grad and former linebacker for the Bulldogs, David Pollock.
2, 1.
If you can't or just don't want to wake up at the crack of dawn, you can watch the broadcast from a distance on Sanford Drive. CBS's coverage of the game itself will begin at 8 p.m. Standard Eastern Time.
Twice about how you plan on using your student ID for the game. The UGA ticket office wants to remind students that if they sell their ID or get caught using another student's, they will forfeit their entire season pass, including postseason games. The ID will also be confiscated and a replacement is $35. With the heavy traffic the game will bring this weekend, you'd best believe the Athens-Clarke County Police Department will be ready for any and everything.
Fans without tickets who will probably be in the downtown area, who will probably be tailgating or maybe visiting some local restaurants as their friends or family go into the game. So we do think there will be more people. Again, though, we think our plan for the downtown district is very good. We have additional resources available if we need them. And you know, our goal is for everyone who comes to town to enjoy what Athens has to offer, to enjoy the game, whether they're watching it in person or on TV, and then to get home safely.
If you plan on being in the Athens area this weekend, expect to see these preps in place.
Thanks, Tasia. Thousands of people are going to come out to this weekend's game and partake in traditions that others may not want to. Grady Newsource reporter Nixon Norman is in the studio to tell us why. Nixon?
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Tasia. Thousands of people are going to come out to this weekend's game and partake in traditions others may not be drawn to. Grady Newsource reporter, me, I'm live in the studio to explain.
Crazy and hectic, and we know that not everybody on our campus for game day is UGA students. We have a lot of students from surrounding colleges that will come to join us in Athens for game days. We have a lot of alumni, other individuals within the state of Georgia that will put on that Georgia gear and join us on campus as part of that Bulldog community. And so one of the things that we recognize is that not everybody on our campus and not all of our students are tailgating. So one of the things that we always want to provide, especially for students that might not want to engage in game day activities, is other fun things that they can do within Athens.
As Truesdell said, the University Health Center provides a top 25 list of things to do in Athens. To get to this list, all you have to do is Google Do It Sober UGA, click the first link that pops up, and there you have it. This list shows both free and low-cost activities to do around Athens on game day or just regular days. The site also shows free and low-cost things to do, and it also provides a UGA bucket list. For a direct link to this list, go to uhs.uga.edu/AOD/do-it-sober. Back to you guys at the stadium. So when it comes to football season, there isn't any reason for someone to feel left out when cheering on the Dogs.
We're at non-drinkers.
If you do appreciate an occasional drink, it may be more expensive if you go downtown. Grady Newsource reporter Tara Brawley explains how Athens Clark County commissioners decided to up the minimum drink price from $1 to $2.
After a recent commission decision, it could cost you more to get a drink downtown in Athens.
So right now, you can't sell any alcoholic beverage for under $1. It's kind of a way to combat binge drinking and just a way to prevent people from having ridiculous deals and alcohol poisoning and a lot of dangerous stuff.
Athens Clark County Commissioner Allison Wright explains their decision to increase the minimum drink price from $1 to $2.
And so we talked about $3, $2, and also I was surveying the different chalkboards at different places on how much they serve, and a lot of them are at $2 already. That's why we decided to move ahead with the $2.
University of Georgia student Alex Payne doesn't think a price increase will have a significant impact on how much students actually drink.
I honestly think it'll probably end up with students drinking beforehand and then just using that as the social arena to talk to each other.
But this adjustment wouldn't just affect the patrons, and losing the appeal of dollar nights could impact business at local bars.
On Thursdays, we have $1 Yinglings and $1 Dos Equis. If we didn't have that, Thursdays, if you go anywhere else in downtown Athens, it's dead. So it'd be just one more night where we're not making any money.
The commission approved the measure.
All in favor? Aye.
And now it is ready to go on to the mayor commissioner. Tara Brawley, Grady Newsource.
From Sanford Stadium.
There will be a meeting in October
Fans,
to
remember to
discuss
stay
this
off the
change
playing
with
field
local
at the end of the
restaurant
game.
and bar owners.
The safety of our players, coaches, and fans.
One
is
out-of-town
of utmost
fan has an
importance.
early start in UGA
Violators
Notre
are
Dame
subject to
tailgating.
arrest
Let me
and the
introduce you
loss
to one
of
fan
future ticket
who says
privileges.
it's worth the extra
Western
money
University
to
would be
start
subject to a
this
major
weekend.
fine if such an incident occurs.
Robinson's daughter became a UGA Redcoat. Bill said he was hooked.
As long as I can remember, I've always loved UGA football.
Bill has been tailgating off and on for more than 6 years. Since his original parking near the Redcoat practice field closed, he had to look for other parking alternatives.
Before I get too old and can't do anything, I wanted to enjoy it a little bit.
If you still cannot find parking for UGA game day, let's go live to reporter Aaron Smaley at the Myers Quad for the UGA campus to help you navigate the tailgating situation.
I'm Aaron Smay with Grady Newsource, and I'm here on Myers Quad, where ESPN Game Day is setting up right behind me in preparation for the Notre Dame game. The game is set to be huge with an 8 p.m. kickoff. The game marks the first home night game. UGA will be showing off with some new LED lights in the stadium to get all the fans in the mood for a nice UGA victory. Now, Myers Quad, if you want to get in on the action, is located south of the stadium between Rutherford Hall and the South Campus parking deck. Festivities will kick off at 9 o'clock. And if you're looking for a good time, Myers Quad should be a big hub of energy, as well as closer to the stadium where fans will be flocking. I'm Aaron Smay, Grady Newsource.
I'm Caroline Greger, and coming up, I'll be showing you where a new park will be going in downtown, and the artwork that inspired the development.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Is your family in need of more quality time together?
Hello, I'm Dr. Spruce. Nature is best enjoyed together. So bring the whole family to discover all the bonding and stress-reducing benefits parks and forests have to offer. Visit discovertheforest.org and trade in phone time for family time.
Birds, squirrels, chipmunks, grass, worms, bugs, trees, rocks, and other objects in nature cannot talk. If you'd like to have a conversation while visiting nature, you will need to bring humans along. We strongly recommend starting with your family.
Coming
We're here.
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Get your picnic gear ready. Soon you'll be able to get some fresh air and let your children play in a new downtown park that will soon be developed. Grady Newsource reporter Caroline Greger shows us where.
Children and families and their kids run around, but it shouldn't be a parking lot.
Commissioner Tim Denson has a vision for downtown Athens to make it a greener place.
And we need green space downtown anyways. We really don't have it.
Outside of university grounds like the North Campus quads, there aren't any parks or green spaces for people to enjoy downtown. If you take a look behind me, you'll see the mural that will overlook the downtown park.
Considering the amount of effort the community has gone to receive this mural, it's probably best that this be preserved as some type of green space, anything other than a surface parking lot.
Sketches of the park include seating, a green quad, trees, and a stage, making it perfect for use during events like AthFest.
That we could have bands during AthFest playing at, that could be greatly enjoyed during Twilight Fest, all the other festivals that we have here.
Cars that currently park here will be moved to a different lot in order to make space for the park.
And this lot right here is a 20-space vehicle lot for the employees of the Water Business Office.
Soon, you can not only eat, drink, and shop downtown, but you can also relax, set up a picnic, and let the kids play in a safe space.
My hope is that within the next year, that it is no longer going to be a parking lot.
I'm Caroline Greger, Grady Newsource.
The Athens-Clarke County Commission will vote in early October to finalize the development, and they hope to have the park finished in a year.
I'm Ashley Soriano, and after the break, I'll be telling you about how ransomware attacks are becoming more frequent on state agencies and what local governments are doing about them.
And I'm Katie Kim, and I'm going to be talking about how one building renovation will give engineering students more opportunities to succeed.
Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Is the seat supposed to be forward-facing or rear-facing? Did they move to a booster seat too soon? It may be too late to check when you're on the road. Fortunately, you're on the couch. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Don't think you know. Know you know.
I'm a single mother, and I was the main one working, so I never thought that I could go back to school, you know? My sister, my mother, everybody wanted to help me with my kids. I could not have gotten my diploma without my family.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90-mile-per-hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
54 days after hackers targeted the Georgia Department of Public Safety with a ransomware attack, the issue is still not resolved. But Lieutenant Stephanie Stallings, the Public Information Officer of DPS, says all systems will be up soon. Those systems include 1,600 employees' phones and computers, Georgia State Troopers' laptops, and dozens of other devices. She says it's taking some time because the state refuses to contact the hackers to pay or negotiate the ransom.
any amount that they had requested, the Department of Public Safety wouldn't have paid it.
Ransomware attacks are becoming more frequent, targeting at least 7 local governments in Georgia. The FBI has statistics showing at least 1,493 victims in 2018. You're probably watching this broadcast with your iPhone, tablet, or some device in your hand. Go to gradynewsource.uga.edu and you can see just how frequent these attacks are becoming and what governments are doing about it.
Students may be stressed this fall preparing for the ACT and SAT. For Oconee County and Athens area juniors, here are the testing dates this fall and deadlines to register. For the SAT October 5th testing day, the registration deadline has already passed, but the late registration deadline is September 24th. To make the November 2nd test, register by October 3rd, and to make the December 7th test, register by November 8th. For the ACT October 26th test date, register by tomorrow or late register by October 4th. To make the December 14th date, register by November 8th. There will be more testing dates February through July, and testing locations include Cedar Shoals High School, Oconee County High School, and the University of Georgia. You can find this schedule at Grady Newsource. If you've ever wondered how the electronic devices you use, the cars you drive, and practically everything else you use on a daily basis exists, then you can ask an engineer. Engineering is the fast-growing industry, and the University of Georgia's Driftmere Engineering Center is changing to serve its future creators. Newsource reporter Katie Kim shows you how.
This is an exhaust hood.
And there's so much more. These are just some of the changes in this new Driftmere Engineering Center lab.
Well, this particular lab that we're in right now is open for the students to work on projects. This looks like something that somebody recently, maybe somebody made some structures right over here.
This is just one renovation that was a part of a $5.5 million project to create new classrooms and laboratory space to replace the old ones built during the 1960s.
I think it's important because it becomes like way more welcoming. It's not like a dreaded space that you have to go into now.
Another renovation includes new study areas, such as more seating, as well as huddle rooms where students can study behind glass walls.
There's tons of rooms where you can just study with other kids, and yeah, it's awesome.
The renovations aren't just for the welcoming atmosphere. The United States Department of Labor projects that from 2016 to 2026, there will be nearly 140,000 new jobs. This bar graph shows enrollment in engineering at UGA from 2014 to 2018. You can see a tremendous amount of growth here. 2014 had a total enrollment of 1,310 students, and 2018 had 2,224 students. The total number of engineering degrees also increased from 269 degrees in 2017 to 326 in 2018. Katie Kim, Grady Newsource.
It'll be exciting to see how our engineers will take advantage of the newly renovated space and fill these growing number of job positions.
This is Tyler Metcalf with Grady Weather, and today we're going to be talking about the upcoming forecast for Athens, the regional forecast, and a little bit more about Hurricane Humberto. So stay right here.
Hello. Hi. I'm from Blue Hood Stone Barns. We brought a meal for you, and I'm here to serve it to you.
Okay, great. Come in.
Zucchini carbonara, made from zucchini that was harvested earlier this morning.
Again? Hey, Dan Barber.
You have room for a little bit more?
Come on in.
Brochettes with sausage. So when we made that zucchini carbonara, you know, they're the end pieces of the zucchini, and they're the cores that we cut away, not to mention zucchini flower. Usually those get thrown out. We use them to create an entire second dish. Does that, oh.
Again? I'm here to bring you your third course. It's the vines from your zucchini.
We'll have a little zucchini stem pasta, a different experience of zucchini. When we start to think differently about our food, we can get a lot more out of it.
This is delicious.
What do you think we can make out of this? 40% of food in America is never eaten. Cook it, store it, share it. Visit SaveTheFood.com.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Laughing too hard at one of your colleagues' jokes at the office party? He's not even funny. Warning sign. Those drinks are probably going to your head. Probably okay isn't okay when it comes to drinking and driving.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
And now, the weather.
Hi, this is Tyler Metcalf with Grady Weather, and today we're going to be looking at the upcoming forecast for Athens. We're going to look at the regional forecast, and then we're going to talk about Hurricane Humberto and how it could affect you. So let's get started. For tonight, around 6 p.m., it's going to be 79 degrees, fairly cool for today, partly cloudy. Around 9, it's going to be 69 degrees, and at midnight, it's going to be 63 degrees. And for both of these, it's going to be pretty clear night. For tomorrow, we're going to have 9 a.m., partly cloudy again, 63, pretty cool morning. For noon and 3 p.m., it's going to be clear, and it's going to be 74 and 81, warming up respectively throughout the day. Still fairly cool. We're starting to get into fall now. For this week, we have a fairly sunny week coming up for Thursday. It's going to be 81 today, 81 degrees, 56 low. For tomorrow, high of 82, low of 59. For Saturday, it's going to be a high of 87, low of 59. For Sunday, high of 89, low of 62. And Monday is going to be a high of 92, low of 67. For this week, closing it out pretty nicely with Saturday being such a good game day. All right, let's move on to our region. For tonight, it's going to be fairly cool throughout all of Northeast Georgia. We have Gainesville, Athens, and Toccoa all sitting around 56, 57. And throughout the Northeast, all mid to high 50s. Moving up to Chattanooga, it's a little bit warmer, but still fairly consistent throughout the region. And moving on to tomorrow, our region is still pretty consistent, sitting around low 80s, mid 80s coming off into the west, but in our area is still fairly consistent. It's going to be a nice day tomorrow, fairly sunny throughout. And now when we look at Hurricane Humberto, as I told you last week, the max sustained wind was sitting at 100 miles per hour and is moving east-northeast at 8 miles per hour. This week, and this was last week's chart, so you can see it's a little bit closer to the mainland, but still off. It was sitting near the Bahamas, and it was moving outward. Now for this week, we have a maximum sustained wind of 125 miles per hour, and it's moving northeast at 22 miles per hour. So it's sped up a little bit in both directional speed and turn speed, and it's moved out into the ocean a little bit more. So it's definitely not going to affect our coastline, but still just be forewarned that there is a hurricane out there and is moving outwards into the Atlantic. So we expect it to slow down as it gets into cooler waters and moves further eastward. This has been Tyler Metcalf with Grady Newsource Weather.
Coming up next, what to expect from game day traffic and advice on where to park on campus.
Expect when you're expecting.
Like here?
A teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to teen-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys. Preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
Ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Here's a couple reminders for you tailgaters.
The tailgating will begin at 7 a.m. The dog walk will start at 5:45 p.m. and the kickoff is at 8:11 p.m. on CBS.
If you check out GradyNewsource.com, you can find more stories on tailgating tactics, parking information, and alternate activities if you don't want to partake in the drinking scene.
The news doesn't stop here. For some stories, check out our social media pages and website at GradyNewsource.com. I'm Alexandra Rios.
And I'm Kat Hendrick. Have a great weekend.
Grady Newsource is a student production of the Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Georgia, which is solely responsible for its contents. Views expressed do not represent those of the administration nor the Board of Regents at the University System of Georgia.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
I'm going to step over here. Live pans are okay, but let's calm down with them for a second. All right, so can someone please turn off that audio, please? So if any of you go back and watch the stream on YouTube, each folder was for, so I'm just going to go over it real quick. TriCaster is basically stuff that we need to take live, so it's going to be the stuff that we need to do in A and E block and whatever we do during a live block, and that should all be fully edited and fully done. The other folder for stuff that's fully edited is stuff in Superclips. That's going to be for VOs and VOs and SOTs. I'm sorry, it's been a bit of a day.
So today was a little bit of an exception. So today we used super clips for stuff like VOs and SOTs that appeared in live blocks that were not A and E. That might not usually happen. Super clips is where you guys are going to drop packages for B, C, and D block, basically. Transfer is where you're going to put raw footage that we need to use to edit, basically. So VOs and SOTs that need to go into leads, tags, or readers that we record down in the studio. So that is just some basic clarification. Next up, just what might help in rundown meetings is checking the columns on CAN. And then under the anchor column, putting specifically which reporter is going to read it if we have multiple reporters that day, especially if they're in multiple locations. The other one is in the video column. That should be used to indicate if there is a VO or a SOT in something, or a live video that we need to run, or in some cases, edit in if it is something like B, C, or D block. And then finally, there is the graphics column. That should be used for OTSs and full screen graphics. If there's something that isn't in any of the things that I just said and we need to mark it in CAN, just let me know, and then I'll be able to tell you where to put it and basically what would be best for us so that we have the clearest communication so we know what you guys need. And the easiest way to do that is just through the rundown and through those rundown columns. Basically everything was on time. Lots of stuff was actually in really early, before the rundown meeting even, which was phenomenal. So keep doing that, and so many of you guys were on top of it. Finally, I want to wrap up saying today was a fantastic show. It was a weird show. We did something really out of the box, which basically almost the entire thing was live, which we don't usually do. And I think you guys really knocked it out of the park with especially being prepared earlier in the day and knowing what we need to record in the studio, what's being done live. And while I think like the communication channels could be cleared up a little bit, that way everybody's on the same page. Given how ambitious this show was and how early it is in the semester, I think you all did a phenomenal job just getting this ready and getting it on the air, especially with the audio issues at the live shots. So our lovely live shot reporters and our lovely crew, I would just like to give a shout out to everybody on the technical side, because you all knocked it out of the park today, especially since lots of people are new, like not only on this side, but on that side of the wall too. Lots of people are new, so I feel like everybody came together today and did a really good job. So Nathan, do you have anything that you want to talk about? This was our lovely director today. It was only his second time, and he did great.
What's up, guys? Had a lot of fun. I really appreciate the, like she mentioned, the ambitiousness, is that a word, of the idea of going out there and trying to do the Sanford Stadium live shot. I think it looked really great, and pending, them kicking you out in the middle of it, I don't know that most people could have overcome that, but you guys did, and I thought it went really well. So props to everybody and to the volunteers who are listening from the corner over there. So good job.
Yeah, again, with like getting kicked out of Sanford Stadium, you guys were completely calm, and I noticed that even as they were kicking you out, when the camera was still on you, you guys were still standing there perfectly ready. Just like if we had to take you guys in an emergency, you were ready. And thank you so much for being prepared to go on camera, because you never know what's going to happen, especially when we're doing something as crazy as this. So you guys did fantastic. Thank you so much for a great and crazy show. It was very stressful, but I think in the end it was a good product to put out there, basically. And that is everything that I have to say. So have a good post show.
Volunteers do not have to be here. They get no grade. They don't even get cookies and punch. You should bring them some, just saying. But they were in it to win it with you guys. And so volunteers, if you can hear me and see me, you guys were absolutely amazing. If I had been y'all, I might have throttled this crew back. If I'd been me, I might have throttled this crew back. I think perhaps I tried. So that's all I have to say for now, but just thank you to the volunteer crew who executed your vision and frankly had to go around and use their expertise. Nathan has directed twice, but there's a lot of, if you notice how this works back here, there's a lot of long-term volunteers who know the drill, and they stand right there and shadow the new folks. It's an incredible learning So I don't have a word. I'll think of one.
Okay,
Now I'm maybe.
I'll go first. I was digital producer. You may not remember, but
Just digital?
yeah. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that has sent me stuff over the past week for social media, for pre-shows. It just makes it easier to like tease your stories, I guess. And then to my actual digital people, Nixon, Aaron, and Ashley, I just want to say thank you. You guys were awesome. For you two stories, I guess what I'm trying to say is I know it's hard when you're digital and you kind of want to, be on TV too. So I just want to thank you for accepting those two roles. And then for Ashley, I want to thank you for allowing your story to wait until today to be ran. And yeah, so I think everybody did great today. I think it was a great show. And we definitely pushed the limit, but I think we did pretty damn good at it. So, sorry.
Yeah, I was content manager today. In terms of content, everything was great, and I think I was more excited about this show than the past two shows, I guess, that we've had. Everyone did great. Everyone had great attitude going into it. I mean, there's not every day that we just like walk in here and just go, you know what, we're gonna do this live. So that was just great on everyone's part to get that ready, especially you guys and volunteers. We made it happen.
Mr. Guzman, TV producer.
Yeah, that was such a risky show, but like the live anchors, I just want to applaud you guys, everybody, Aaron, Kat, where's she? Alex, and you went live too, and that was, at first it was a little bit, but then you caught up, so.
Grady Newsource reporter, me.
Yeah.
Hey, don't forget Aaron Shmaley.
No, yeah, I said Aaron.
Shmaley.
Aaron was good. But like, what I really liked about the show was the teases. I liked how we had the tease. I like we had Caroline at the tease, introduce her story. I like how we had Katie Kim and Ashley together to introduce a story. I feel like that was like something new and something like, it looked like very professional, in my opinion. I think Tyler did a good job with weather, and then everybody that had a package, Tara, Nixon had a package. No, you did. Whoever had a package, Caroline had a package. Everyone just did. Alex had a package. Kat had a package. Katie Kim had a package. Everyone that just had a package, I think everyone just did really good. I think Aaron had a great live shot too. Just his presence, which is great. And then thank you, Professor Cantrell, for giving us the idea to do a live show on our second week.
Not my idea. I said, perhaps you can do team coverage, and then I don't know what happened. It was just gone. It was out of my control. So good for you.
And then Brittany for helping me a lot. Tasia for helping me a lot this whole week, even doing anchoring when she wasn't supposed to. And Eric helping me a lot too, just putting things in videos that I didn't know what to do. Basically, like, I didn't know what to do at all. I even had to contact Caroline and Tara, and they helped me out. So I just want to thank you guys.
You know, I get annoyed when y'all do all this clapping. I mean, we're not at the Oscars for crying out loud. But in this case, it's well deserved. Don't take your mic off. So there's a lot that I can say about this and about everybody's role, and I will, of course. But I'm going to send you guys some individual notes, too. It's really odd to me, in a most gratifying way, that you all are at a, you're kind of amping, you're making me work hard, which is not, but, professors, we get in this mode, we know what to expect when, right? I mean, it's outlined in our syllabi. If you look at our syllabi, week 1, da-da-da, week 2, we'll do this, week 3, we'll study that. Y'all have got me at week 9. I'm having my week 3. And it's really wonderful. So I'm going to send you guys some individual notes because I don't want to beat a bunch of dead horses. What I want to hear from you guys, and I think it's really important today, and I want you to think about it just a moment. You guys should feel incredibly proud of yourselves. I also want you to think, though, and know that there are some things that looking at it, you would say, I would do this better different. Even more important than that, what did I learn? You know, what did I learn either from my success or my, oh, darn, why didn't I do X? A couple of real high notes that were surprising learnings at this stage of the game. Caroline's video referencing, and Katie Kim's video referencing, and Tara Brawley's Nat Sound pop with the yes vote, and changing her leads. These things are things that are pretty sophisticated. Katie Kim's working on the smart board. It's being live, anchors being live out there. Look, that's difficult for experienced anchors. I thought there's some pretty terrific stuff. There's stuff I want to see you do more of. Your recovery was good, Nixon, you know, because the prompter wasn't there. It's like, and a good lesson of kind of having your script and, you know, being, this is a learning. That's what this is all about, okay? Tasia, I think, I couldn't figure out if you were digital manager, because check. Couldn't figure out if you were the anchor, because check. Couldn't figure out if you were the associate producer or writer, check. Video editor, check, 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 check. The diversification of skill that she demonstrated today is something I think all of you possess, and I challenge and encourage you to explore it. And I think you can only do that when you make a decision. I think Tasia, our very first week, left the room for an hour, and I said, did she leave us? Now, I don't know what happened in that hour, but it was frighteningly wonderful because nothing shakes her. And you know, and at the end of the day, putting your best foot forward and not getting shook and doing the best you can do is everything that we can do. And that best is going to grow and grow and grow. So let me hear from you guys. You know, what you learned, what your oh shucks moment, or your next time I'm going to do X. Katie Kim, I'm not going to start with you because I always start with you. I'm going to start with you, Nixon.
Okay. I didn't have much time to think about it, but I will say this. I was sitting at my second interview, and I was thinking, well, I know Cantrell's going to ask what I learned, so I kept flipping through it. Okay. And a few of them that I came up with was, don't be afraid to fail. Yeah. And I always say that anyway, because I always say, like, the best way that I learn is falling on my face. But I get so caught up in that sometimes that I just don't allow it to happen and to actually learn from things. So that's what I'm saying. Just, you know, don't get so hard on yourself. Of course, I'm not saying don't push harder or give up or anything. But you know what? Sometimes you're going to fail, and you just have to pick yourself up by the bootstraps and move on. And I will also say, on a lighter note, I also learned saying something is better than saying nothing. And that's kind of what I was doing today when I caught myself with the teleprompter. So I will say those are my lessons.
As long as it's truthful and accurate.
Yeah.
Because that's our currency. Thank you.
My big takeaway today was, number one, lean on your team. You helped me out so much with turning in that package when I had to go out there, and it wouldn't have aired if not. And then also, you never know, like, be kind to everybody, because you don't know who they are or what they are. I was making small talk with one of the security guards over at the college game day setup, and through that, I kind of like bounced around until I met the producer, and he introduced me to another person and was like, why don't you just film inside of the trucks? And so I got to bring my entire tripod in there and film inside of there, and I have no idea how much of that made it, but whether it was in there or not, it was really cool, and I feel like if I had a little bit more time, I could have turned it into something amazing. But the fact that I got to, like, basically just roam around that entire set with my tripod for an hour was kind of crazy. So that was my main takeaway, too, and leaning on your teammates.
Always lean on your team. Always be decent. I will say, when Hitler came to power, my mother tells me that my grandfather was asked to fulfill a certain job role, and he said, nope, because this man rose so fast and he's going to fall even faster. So just remember, you meet the same people going down as you met going up, and how you treat them will determine how they treat you.
Something I wish I would have done today, and I know we talked about this earlier, is Well, I always have like a lot of fun doing the interviews. I like talking to people. I like learning about that. So that's not really the hard part for me. But I wish that I would have done more creative B-roll. And partly I was thinking that maybe I could do stuff today, but then I filmed my stand-up. I was wearing a different outfit. It would have looked weird if I had on this. I don't know. I was just like, I'm not going to do it today. But I wish I would have kind of done more of a selfie stick situation or something a little bit cooler. So I'm going to try to work on making more creative B-roll and stand-ups. But yeah, and then like the same thing that Kat said, I really like the environment we have here now because I feel like we're all pretty good friends now, and every time that one of us is just like, hey, I need help with something, someone will come over, you know, and I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, today I mean I wasn't super proud of the piece I put out. I'm pretty disappointed in it, so I just gotta reread through it and see how I can write better, and that's about it.
Mr. Smay, is there anything in terms of your live performance, anything that you would do differently there that you particularly liked or didn't like? Or?
We entreated a gentleman near the on the quad.
Okay, that's my favorite word today.
So we approached a gentleman today, and we called him a character because Caroline was like, maybe we could use him, and maybe we could, until he came up to our freshman helper and started being really creepy. So watch who you talk to, because this guy was he was a character for sure, but he was not a good person. Yes, yeah, right. So be careful who you're talking to. Also, we got approached by ESPN Game Day, just because they were setting up on Myers. So be careful working around other news crews. You know, don't let them bully you, even though we're just kids, I guess, quote unquote. But I don't know. The gentleman came back later after my shot was done, and he was telling me I could have put more sauce on it, which I agree. I got a little nervous, and just with the time constraints, I was kind of getting balled up. But yeah, I can put more sauce on, while not being a ham. Like
Well, I don't think hams have sauce, do they? I don't know. I can't cook. You mentioned that you and Alex earlier had an interview that you just loved and you couldn't use it because. And what was the lesson out of that?
SWEF. Listen to Shumway's methods because they're right, and we skipped step 1 or 2. I forgot what it was, but we messed up with the mic, and we didn't realize until after. This man gave us 2 minutes of gold, 2-3 minutes of gold, and we couldn't use any of it. So.
Who wants to remind us what SWEF is?
Exposure, focus framing. That's what they were saying.
Yeah, check your stuff. All right, Ashley.
Everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses, and you can't be good at everything.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And there is a school of thought that says, oh, I'm really good at this, so I should really work on these weaknesses. Now look, I'm no psychologist or anything close to it, so take this with maybe a big shake or salt. One school of thought is that yes, I need to work on these weaknesses. I feel like there is a finite amount of energy we all have. We certainly have the same number of hours in the day. And I just always felt like if I'm really magic over here, why do I want to take energy from where I'm good? And instead of getting from good to great, I'll take my weakness and bring it up to average. And then I'll use the energy from over here to do that. And great, now I'm average everywhere. I do think it's take control of your strengths. In this environment, you do need to learn everything. You need to get a passing understanding of it. Or at worst, at least not be terrified of it, because you never know. But I do think playing to your strengths and mining them. I told you guys at the beginning of the semester, I gave you guys a little idea of what I perceived your strengths to be, and that's a good thing. Okay, Ms. Rios.
So, for me, today I cried and I cried. And
we thought you were laughing. You told us you were laughing. Were you
No,
crying,
I was
really?
laughing at that point.
Oh, okay.
But before that.
Oh, okay. Because I would have been sympathetic.
So with that, be prepared. And with that, always be ready. Because, even if that means, checking to see if the plug is plugged into.
Is that why you cried?
No, I mean, it was just everything.
Oh, okay.
But just, being ready with, make sure your camera equipment is working, check the sound. Like, it's something that I already know, and I was just like, I don't have to check it because I already know it's there. But it's something, you got to do it anyways. And with makeup, bring it. Yeah.
I'm so glad you're saying that so I don't have to.
Yes, that. And just like be like ready all the time. Like, for example, going on the live shot today, like be ready to like be adjustable to change according to your environment.
So really important, very important. And since I can't say it better, I won't. Tara, loved your story today. Thought you did a great job. You punted. You had a change happen. You made sure the lead and tag. I mean, you owned that story soup to nuts. Shooting was good. Just great improvement.
Well, thank you. Sorry, clearly don't know how to take a compliment. But I think one thing that I learned doing this story was to take advantage of every possible interview that you can like possibly get, because one thing that's very hard for me and I'm still working on is just approaching people when we don't have like a planned interview and talking to them about it. And so last night I was like a little worried because I didn't really have much set up for this story. So I just like went downtown and I saw a bar that was like pretty empty, and I went in and I'm like, can I talk to you? And he was like, yeah, you know, so like, doesn't sound like a big deal, but was to me.
No, it's a huge deal because, as I always say, that there's no news happening in this newsroom except maybe me going, get out of here.
Right.
Which isn't really newsworthy.
So I think that's what I learned, to take advantage of interviews when they present themselves.
That's a big deal. The person who looks finds the news.
So I guess like my thing is I thought I had a lot more B-roll than I actually had, because I was just so excited that I had that professor basically walk me around and show me things, but I didn't take into account I should probably get clips of those things just without him there as well. Like, I should have stayed after he left and been like, I'm just going to stay here for a couple more minutes, get a couple more shots, and then head out. But I was kind of just, like, so focused on following him everywhere, and I didn't take time to, like, really stop and get at least, like, 5 seconds of something. So I had some shaky clips in there just because I was moving around a lot. But, yeah, that was my main takeaway from.
Pay attention to that. That is an incredibly smart observation. You know, you guys, you know, we challenge and exhort you to not just have everybody in the show sitting behind a desk. So Katie Kim, you know, pushed the envelope, and she was so excited. She goes, I was working with her. I go, why don't we rewrite this a little bit? No, it's where I have them walking. Ooh. So, okay then.
So
I know, and you should be, But because we're novices and we're learning, we come back and we go, oh, this is what I asked you this question, not because I can't talk for 30 minutes. Heaven help, I can. I shouldn't, but I can. It's because truly there are these, you know, I could have had a B8 moments. Y'all don't know what that is. I'll tell you later. You know, where you have these like bright light moments, and that's one. You know, that, oh, why didn't I take a few extra seconds? I hope when you all get through this class, you'll recognize that learning those things and taking a few extra seconds here and a few extra seconds there saves you an incredible amount of time and amps up the quality. So really good. Thank you for bringing that up. Tyler.
I just have to be much more proactive with my ideas. Like, I'll have an idea and I won't act on it until the day of in terms of contacting sources. So I just need to be more proactive in terms of my sources and gathering that before I come into class.
I think that's something we could all do, but understand also there are days, I mean, news is news. And the thing I want you guys to learn too is you can't do everything the day before, or it's olds. You know, so how might we? Today was kind of fun. Tyler was having a challenge with his story, so it gave me an opportunity to teach about where do we go if we want to find out about an LLC, where an LLC is registered. Do you remember?
Secretary of State.
That's right, Secretary of State's office. You know, and this is kind of, you know, remix from information gathering, but it's good to create opportunities for us, for me to help you guys put into practice some of the things you learned in your other classes. You know, I had an interesting time talking with Aaron, showing him QPublic and how to check for property taxes. And kind of remembering, how do we figure out property taxes? How do we apply millage rate to appraised value and percentage of blah, blah, blah. Doesn't sound important. It sounds like so much blah. But if you know these things, you'll get to where you can go to these things quickly because you know them and you'll be able to turn things more quickly. One of the things I would say, if a story doesn't work out moving forward, our expectation is that you guys will say, I'm going to do this. And you tried to do that. You said, I'm going to do this story now. And we kind of knew that if you were having problems with that one, this one was going to kill you. I'm all choked up. Where's my coffee? So, Mr. Guzman, what would you have needed from everybody else today to go from good to great, and what would you want from yourself? It's water. Keep talking.
What would you like from them?
Do you need a mic?
What?
No, it's not. Yeah, that's how I was like.
Good from great. Good to great. Yeah. I don't need any yeah, I don't.
Nothing? What was your big growth today, and what would you do differently? What will you do differently as a result of learning?
In terms of positioning, like content manager wise, I would say just being aware that you are not just stuck to one job. You are trying to be a jack of all trades and trying to know everyone's story and everyone's position and what everyone needs help with as much as possible.
While you keep up with what's breaking.
Yep.
Okay. I want to say this for all of you guys. Each one of you is going to have the opportunity to anchor. And at the end of the day, it matters. The presentation matters. Anchors, when you're out live like that and you've got something going on, don't do the ostrich. Do you know what I mean by that? The ostriches stick their head in the sands and their behinds are in the air and they go, no one can see me because I can't see them. So we had all this noise that we were hearing. It was kind of exciting, and it would have been nice if you guys would have acknowledged that. If you would have said, oh my God, we're going to have to really speak into our mics. Hope you can hear us okay because there's so much noise. We're less than 2 days away from this game, and this stadium is already going crazy. Take a listen. Acknowledge it. All of you do that when you anchor. If something goes wrong, if something really awful happens, you have to acknowledge that too. Because the audience is going, do they not hear that? My God. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's an important learning for all of you guys.
When we were out there was Channel 2 and then Fox 5 were both doing live shots with us. And as soon as we cleared away, I saw the girl from Fox 5 who was basically like, I hope you guys can hear me. I'm having to talk so loud because of this. And immediately I was like, that would have been a great idea.
Yes.
Would have been a great idea.
Yes. So bottom line is you guys learned a lot. I want you to go back and take a look at your packages and see how we can amp that up a little bit. The other thing I want to say is, we were much better with audio today. Still work on that. Get it perfect, okay? Caroline, I appreciate that you called me over there and go, what's the deal with the audio? I think it's after 6. Okay, that's a little weird that they're not cutting me off, but, hey. So at any rate, keep working on that. What else were you to work on this week?
Wide, medium, tight.
Okay. You're going to have to keep working on that, guys. I'm not seeing enough tight. What else? New now next. I